how are you feeling today?
In all honesty, medyo pagod na po. I just came from summer this morning because I hosted Mutiahan Summer last night. So physically I'm tired, but mentally and emotionally I'm so energized because of today's activity and to once again see you all here. And I just want to also say thank you to everyone that's here, and Annabelle, also thank you for doing this once again for me. It's so nice to have a friend in you also as a host.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again too. And congratulations for that fantabulous overall performance at Miss Supra 2023 and bagging the title too. So congratulations, truly. I mean, dedication truly fits you to a T in terms of the word. You don't just say it, you imbibe it, you live it, you live up to it. So congratulations.
Thanks, Annabelle.
Is there anything you would like to say in particular before we, commence this segment of the program? Would you want to say anything in particular? We might want a tissue. I know you.
I didn't bring my mom today so that we won't cry. Let's have like one press con where we don't end up in so many tears. No, but I'm just kidding. My mom actually had her birthday yesterday, so I will take this chance to greet her a very, very happy birthday, Ma. If you're watching this, I'll be home again soon, and let's celebrate your entry into senior citizenhood. And yeah, can't wait to be back. And of course, once again to everyone here, thank you so much for sharing this afternoon with me, and also somehow sharing this victory with all of us. We've already had a little bit of time together at the airport when I arrived, pero medyo haggard ako doon because I came from a long haul flight, so at least ngayon naka-corona na ako. So let's get this party started.
Forma isn't the word I use. That's like an understatement, but it's your day, so you can use whatever word you want. But in terms of questions, what do you think was your favorite aspect of the competition, or most favorite aspects of the competition?
I know that this is being said a lot, especially with girls that compete internationally, but it was really the friendship that you get to create and the bonds that you get to make with the different candidates from all around the world. That is such a unique opportunity for you as a person. And I remember something that Miss Shamsi also said, after an international competition, you somehow have a friend in all those countries that have joined a particular pageant. So hopefully one day we get to go to those other countries and meet them again in their own communities and spend some time and reminisce on all the beautiful memories that we made, because we made a lot of beautiful memories.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely relate to that to some degree, and yeah, it's really the sisterhood that surprisingly stays even after the pageant. I mean, it's just one of those things that are, a bonus on top of the bonus.
Yes, exactly. It's like they help you make the journey even more memorable.
Exactly. And how does it feel, from wearing the Philippine sash to now wearing a Supra sash across the chest?
It's unbelievable, it's surreal, and it makes me immensely proud of this achievement that all of us were able to, to get together.
Thanks for sharing your thoughts, and we would love to hear more of them, definitely, as our darlings from the media would really love to ask a lot of questions, I'm guessing. So once again, we would like to open the floor to our friends from the media.
Mabuhay! I'm Armin Adina representing the Philippine Daily Inquirer.
We love that callback. That was the same introduction as your send-off.
Hi, Pauline. Based on your experience in Miss Supranational, how do you think should we go about the search for your successor?
Oh, it was a 3-week experience. So we really need someone who is strong in terms of emotional capacity and character to really make it through that very rigorous time that you're away. Because I think one thing that might be challenging is getting homesick. There will be times for sure where you're gonna long for home, you're gonna long for your mom's cooking, you're gonna long for being able to be hugged by your friends, for example. So we really need to have someone that is dedicated to that journey too.
Okay, just one more question for the applicants that will make you say that, yes, I would like you to fight for the crown I'm wearing right now.
Wow.
Sorry, I was gonna say something pero wag na yun. I already mentioned dedication earlier. That is something that I will always be looking for. But also someone who has the courage to always take that initial first step. Because this journey, whatever journey it is that you start in life, whatever new chapter you start in life, it's gonna be scary. And of course, we all have our own doubts. We all have our own insecurities, whether it's your body, whether it's your speaking abilities or your social skills even. We all have those tiny little things about ourselves that cause a little bit of self-doubt. But with all that self-doubt, as long as you have the courage to take that first step, that means that you are willing to at least allow yourself to be transformed and to become better. And that is one aspect that I'll definitely be looking for in the next person or in the women that want to wear this crown or the main crown afterwards.
Very well said, Miss Philippines. Thank you very much for the honor you gave our country.
It has been my pleasure and honor. Thank you.
Once more in our hearts, you are our Miss Supranational 2023. So I have two questions for you. Number one, to follow through this question, do you have someone particularly in mind who can be your successor?
In all honesty, medyo nahirapan ako doon because the Miss Philippines has just, let's say, has just been born, if there's another way of saying it. And it's going to be different from Miss Universe Philippines, for example. So I myself now also need to try and find someone that's going to fit the other mold a little bit better, if mold really is the right term, because we also try to make our own molds. But they will always be looking for something in particular. So actually, I'll go through social media later, and I'll email you. I'll email you the names.
Secondly, now that you have experienced your international victory, how did it change your life in general?
I think it has made me all the more appreciative and grateful for the people around me. Because, like I said before, it really isn't a one-woman journey, and it has been an ambition of mine for so many years already to finally wear the Philippine sash, to save Philippines through the microphone, and it wouldn't have been possible if not for the people on my team, if not for my mom.
You can take all the time you need. I think that deserves a huge round of applause because she's really fighting with not just her mind but her whole heart, you know. So, and it really shows, you know, with you know, the dedication and just the stellar performance overall that you showed at Supra. Maybe I shouldn't go on with the accolades. Maybe it'll make you cry even more. But you deserve your moment.
I really think it is impossible to have a press con without Pao Pao crying. No, but really, going back to what I said earlier, I wouldn't have made it this far if it wasn't for the people who, in their way, were also dedicated to me in my journey. And I'm immensely grateful, immensely appreciative, but also extremely happy. A lot of people also keep telling me, oh, you should have won, and I'm like, well, thank you for thinking that, but I already did. So, yes.
Love that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Go Drew!
Hello, I'm Drew Francisco. First of all, Pauline, congratulations on your first honor finish in Miss Supranational. The journey has been very long from your first national pageant to finally wearing the Philippine sash across your chest. So my question is, what message do you want to convey to your supporters and to the people watching through your journey in Miss Supranational?
There's actually so much that I want to say, and I think maybe one thing that I really want to focus on is the importance, once again, of keeping that voice in your mind the kindest and loudest. There will always be a multitude of voices, external voices, that might somehow doubt you, that might somehow try to bring you down. And it's important to really, especially one thing that I've learned this year, it's important to really know who you are and know that your value doesn't rely or doesn't depend on other people's perspective of you or other people's opinions about you. What's important is what you think of yourself, how you speak or talk about yourself to yourself, and how the people around you who are close to you see you, and how that relationship can create bonds and how that relationship can make you even better as a person and individual.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Hey, mabuhay.
Mabuhay.
Congratulations, dear.
Thank you so much.
Yung first question ko is, one of the most dramatic moments nung search was yung kayong dalawa na lang on stage in Ecuador, your expression and all. What was going through your mind during the time now the winner was about to be announced?
It felt like an eternity on stage, just with me and Andrea. And I was reflecting back on my own journey because Michelle told me once before I left that when you're on that stage, come coronation night, somehow your entire journey, not just from the year before, but from the very beginning, will somehow flash before your eyes. And I had that moment because I realized it had been since 2017, back in Miss Bohol, that I was in the top 2, holding hands with just one other girl, hoping, praying, manifesting to be able to be worthy enough to win that crown. And I saw that in my mind. It was a flashback, and at some point I had to close my eyes. There was just so much going on, so many emotions, so many feelings. And I noticed that if I close my eyes, I experience it better. I experience it more. I allow myself to be in that moment, because shortly after that, that moment's gonna be gone, and I don't think I'll ever have a moment like that again in life. So I was really letting every feeling sink in at that moment. And what was going through my mind also, aside from that flashback, was also just my prayers of gratitude for my mom and my friends also somehow being able to go to Poland, for making it that far. Like, I really felt like this is a winning moment already. This is such an achievement for not just me, but for the Philippines. And I was already so grateful at that point, and all I could think was, Lord, whoever wins, please make her the worthiest, or make her worthy of the crown and the responsibility of it. Thank you.
Thank you. And then, yung last question ko is, parang one of the commentaries after the search was, ikaw daw yung parang unang first runner-up na talagang in-uplift pa by saying na, well, deserving ka rin by short, parang konting figure lang, ganyan. Yung recognition coming from the host, and of course, and then yung Miss Supra last year. How did you feel about it?
That was so heartwarming. That made me cry even more when I heard that on stage. You know, of course, it's not Papa, she's not gonna cry a little bit, but it felt nice to be recognized also, because sometimes during pageants, when the winner is announced, sometimes kawawa yung first runner because she's not given any recognition, yung fourth, yung third, yung second, may sariling moment. But if it's just the two and it's the winner that's announced, yung first runner somehow fades into the shadows or into the background. And I was so grateful that they took their time also to give a special shout out to Philippines for being the first runner-up, and that really meant a lot to me. So to Joanne and to Nick, thank you so much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
I love your tie.
Thank you, Queen Pao. We have come from Manila Standard.
Hello.
Queen Pao, we know you as a woman. You have plenty of advocacies and good causes. Now that after exerting your all and best efforts for the Supranational 2023, how do you plan to give back to the community, or to influence younger Filipinas to follow your footsteps?
When people would ask me, do you see yourself as a model? My witty answer to that is, runway model, no. Role model, yes. So what I would try to mean to say with that is that before we try to make an impact, we have to make sure that we walk our own talk, and that we take that initial first step into trying to reach out back to the community that has lifted us up during all the different parts and phases of our lives, whether it's your small village, whether it's just your little family, for example. There will always be a right time to give back to them. And I already made plans with my JCI chapter. I'm meeting them very soon when I'm going back to Bohol as well. And I hope to still work with even Save the Children, for example. I'm still in contact with George. He's my friend from Save the Children. And hopefully we can meet tomorrow actually. It was supposed to be today pero medyo busy na. Medyo pagod pa yung katawan ko from all the travels. So hopefully tomorrow. And that's just the little few things that I can do to somehow use my voice, as I said before, to reach out to others and to spark that action at least. With the platform that has been given to me, I think that's one of the least things that I can do to give back.
Last question. With the voice that you have now, that you can use in the pageant world, how can you unite the pageant fans or people to avoid toxicity and to unite for all Philippines who carry or who raise our flag for international competition?
I love that question actually, and I've already experienced so much. We've all somehow experienced so much of the toxicity that also comes along with pageantry. And I noticed that one thing that we can all do about it is to speak up and kill it with kindness. There's so much power in every voice here in this room and in every post even that you can make online. And I noticed that if I would speak up about it, somehow people maybe get the chance to reflect or think on their actions and maybe even take a step back and realize, no, hindi yun maganda, I shouldn't have done that. Everyone has feelings that don't deserve to be hurt in ways that are just mean or cruel. And hopefully, by speaking up about it, which also takes a lot of courage sometimes, believe you me, by speaking up about it, at least we allow ourselves and other people to reflect on our thoughts, on our actions, and on the things, on how we treat the people around us, especially when it comes to pageantry. Because Callie said that we don't. Callie, our friend, she was sorry, I'm still in the pageant from last night. She was Miss Pasig during Miss Universe Philippines. She said that women don't join pageants to be criticized and to fall, not victim, but to take on all that toxicity, but because we want to raise our voices and we want to bring people together. And that's something that we always need to remind ourselves with. I always believe that beauty pageants, like basketball or boxing, really have the capacity to bring people together. So let's use that unity for something purposeful and meaningful.
Strongly agree on that. Congratulations again, Rita.
Thank you.
Hello, Chris. So, my question is, how do you want to be remembered as a beauty queen in the world of fashion?
I'd like to be remembered as a dedicated pao-pao. It's been three tries for me in national pageantry before I finally was able to represent the Philippines internationally. And even then, I didn't actually come home with the main crown. But I hope that people somehow remember me still as a winner, as a queen, because we were able to achieve something so big and something so glorious together. And it really comes to show that when we all put our hearts and minds and souls into something that unites people, then we can really make that beautiful difference in the world when we come together. Thank you.
Congratulations, Pauline.
Thank you.
To us, you're the winner. No one else. Wala nang iba. Anyway, I'd like to ask you, what new things did you learn at the end of your journey? And what are the things you also validated during this journey?
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm excited by your question. One beautiful thing that I learned or that I realized on this journey, that the different cultures of the world, even if we come from different countries, can somehow still unite us. Because Asia has its own distinct culture that somehow united us. And I saw this also very evidently with the African continent when they performed their production number as a group. It was so beautiful to see all of them somehow unite in a culture from their own continent, and I think that was such a beautiful realization. And I also have another realization, and that is that language isn't necessarily a barrier into understanding one another. For Miss Supra National, we had something called a From the Ground Up project, which was a project that every candidate had to bring forth, and it was a project that all of us somehow had to be part of or had to start in our own communities. And each of us had a chance to talk about it for a good 3 to 5 minutes every evening. And there were some candidates, especially those from the Latin countries, who didn't really speak English well, so they asked a translator, one of our co-candidates, to at least translate what they were saying in Spanish into English, for us to at least understand a little bit more. But I realized that as I was looking at the candidate presenting, even as she was speaking in Spanish, I could still feel her emotions. I was crying with her when she was crying, I was smiling when she was smiling, and I somehow got the message that she was trying to convey, even without necessarily listening word for word to the translator. So language really isn't a barrier into understanding, because feelings and good intent is felt. And that's something that I really realized, and it was a beautiful realization for me.
What are the stuff that you validated, that you knew all along, and that you got to validate during the journey?
Stuff that I validated?
Yeah, I mean that you know that were really true. That this is true. Anyway, that you validated. I mean that you validated for yourself when you were there.
For validation on the aspects of my journey?
Yeah.
Well, it was my first international pageant, and when I spoke to Michelle before leaving, she also told me that the national pageants here in the Philippines, in particular the Miss Universe Philippines, was such a good training ground for an international pageant, because it's somehow the same in terms of schedules, in terms of waking up early, having to do your own hair and makeup. And that was something that I saw was also really true, and it was such a great help to me also. And it also allowed me that extra spare time to reach out to the other co-candidates and then help them put on their falsies, finish their look, or help with their photos and say, gorgeous, gorgeous girl, as we were taking each other's pictures. And it was such a beautiful part of our journey. And that's one thing, I guess, that I was able to validate when I was there already.
Finally, is this your last contest? Will you be trying again next year for Miss Universe Philippines?
I would have already exceeded the age limit if I join next year. I'll be turning 28 this month, so I don't think that pwede na.
They extended to 30 years old.
Let's talk again then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First one, after your photos.
A lot of people have asked me that. Well, actually, I just arrived, when was it? Like about 2 weeks ago or something like that? A week ago. Has it just been a week? No. So around 2 weeks ago. And I remember just having like one whole day of rest to recover from the jet lag. And then I was actually going back to work now for the organization, for the different brands and sponsors that have helped us, get this far in this journey. And one thing that I really enjoy, which is something that I did last night, was hosting. So I hope to be able to continue on that path as well, and somehow still be part of other girls' journey, not as a co-candidate, but as a host this time. That's something that I really look forward to. Thank you too.
Thank you so much. And with that, we now wrap up that segment of this afternoon. Thank you so much to all our members of the media.